After having their soft opening in mid-February, Medical Marijuana of Massachusetts, known as the M Dispensary, had their official ribbon cutting on March 8th. We stopped in to get a look at the inner workings to learn more about the growing process.
Every day, as vehicles cruise past the corner of Aldrin and Collins in North Plymouth, it's entirely possible that the drivers overlook the signs that stand just about 1 foot off the ground there. But since discretion is the objective for the business that the signs represent, it's probably for the better. For those who do see the signs, all arrows point to this building with the funky blue-green paint job that not only looks a bit like a fortress, it's protected like one as well. Over my right shoulder is the 8-foot-high perimeter fence. On my left side is the guarded gatehouse, protecting what the head of security is referring to as one of the most secure buildings in the entire state. So what exactly is so deserving of all of this heightened security? Well, large quantities of medicinal-grade marijuana for starters. Also under lock and key are the methods used in cultivating these high-yield crops, and we would need special security clearance just to get to the area where it all takes place. Before we get to this point, though, getting into the building itself has its own smaller set of hurdles. The patient or caregiver's ID is checked at the front to make sure they're registered in the system. They also check to see that they haven't exceeded their monthly allotment.
Once they're checked in and they pass, we'll bring them into the dispensary where we sell a variety of products. We have flowers, we have tinctures, which are drops you can put under your tongue. We have capsules, we have pre-rolled joint cigarettes. What we don't have here are gummy bears and lemonade that's been infused with cannabis, or pizzas or brownies or the like, again, per the request of the town, and we're happy to comply with that.
Before it can look like this, it looks like this. And to get to this stage, these plants get their start from the mother plants in what's known as the propagation room.
What we do is we have mother plants that we take cuts off of. It's just a little branch, a couple inches long, that we put into what we call a cloner, and it grows roots. And then once the plant has roots, it goes into these trays here, and it stays in these trays for a couple of weeks until it grows up large enough for us to put it into the flowering phase, and then we move it into our flowering rooms. We're on a total 8-week flowering cycle, so what we try to do is every 2 weeks there's a crop coming out that's being harvested. So at the same time there's a crop that's being put into the cloners, there's a crop that's being moved from the cloners into the propagation trays, and then there's a crop that's being moved into the flowering room.
Once the plants reach their height of maturity and are ready for harvest, they're trimmed and dried. The buds may be what more people recognize, but the trimmings can end up here in this lab. This is where, through a multi-step process over hours and days, they end up with cannabis oil.
What happens in here is we do an extraction of the resins in the cannabis plant that have medical value for cannabis therapy. And we do that in a variety of ways, and we make a variety of products such as capsules and tinctures and topical creams. These are mostly for people who don't want to smoke a joint. That's mostly what we do.
Not to be forgotten is that this is a highly regulated process from seed to sale, reaching a demographic that may surprise those with preconceived ideas about who uses this product.
Interestingly enough, our average age is about 51 for the patients that we're seeing. We've seen everything from 24 years old all the way up to 88 years old and everything in between. But mostly what we're seeing are people that are in their late 40s or early 50s with a variety of different medical conditions, everything from Lou Gehrig's disease to Crohn's disease to MS. This plant is a wonderful product that can help a various amount of diseases.
Reporting from Plymouth, I'm Brian Sullivan for PCN.